Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with the weekly news and review for April 6th, 2025. And this past week's been quite taxing on a lot of people, so we're going to talk about some fun news in the Transformers world. We're going to try to get things back on tracks here. A lot of people talk about his chest, but is it canon? We'll have a look at that. And we have some DC stuff going on, or going off. If you want to say that it's already sold out, then that's a thing. We could say that. We've got some to sell. Wave 2 of the Star Trek. Again, giving us stuff that we haven't gotten yet that I think fans will enjoy. Speaking of G.I. Joe, not really. We have a Star Trek Shipwreck from Hiya Toys. And they're doing Star Trek also, by the way. But this is a pretty good looking shipwreck, and we'll talk a little bit about that. More updated pictures, actually color pictures now, of the bad guys from Robocop, which have never been made by anyone ever, and probably never will get made again. Got a price on those. We've got a lot of Masters Universe stuff that's up for order, so it's kind of compiled into one nice bow on it kind of package. Also reissuing this $70 set that skyrocketed to like $200 or $300 on eBay through Entertainment Earth. We'll talk a little bit about that. This is almost all the Star Wars news, by the way. We'll talk about this and more coming up. Alright, starting out with what's new at ShowZ store. We have a fourth party trailer for Masterpiece MP10 Optimus Prime. Trailer only. It is a knockoff, AKO, and it looks pretty good overall. It says it's also going to be compatible with MP44S, KO MP44, TE01, I assume original MP44, and with that, probably one of the Magic Square ones and all that, but it doesn't say it, so I can't guarantee it. But when I did go to check out on this, I didn't buy one, but I just wanted to test it. And it's $40, and it was only going to charge me $40, meaning ShowZ is still duty-free, if you know what I mean. TH in the support your reviewer, please. Help Jay out. Anyway, Mod Fans, EX09U Fortress Maximus Grand Color version, $70, and $1 deposit. You get a double deposit down, so you get $1 extra off of it. But it looks pretty good. It is the smaller one. It is not truly Legends. It's 9 inches tall, 9.05 inches tall. And because there's a shortage of Optimus Prime news every week, there's never. This is the Galaxy Toys MPA Studio Mini 01EX. The thing is, it's EX metallic version, $24, and it's like 2 inches, 2.76 inches tall. And I missed this whole point at Gundam It. Gundam It is ShowZ, and it's duty free also. They have Ramen toy stuff that was up for pre-order. Pre-orders are sold out. I'm sure when the stuff comes into stock, they'll have more, but it is a couple bucks more than if you get on the site at Ramen's. If you pre-order at Ramen now, you get them for $70, but then you have to pay shipping on top of that. So people told me that it is still technically cheaper to buy it from Gundam It than straight from Ramen because of the shipping cost. All right, let's go right towards the jugular for what I think is the most exciting Transformers news this week, and it is the Star Toys tracks. And the reason for that is because the Takara one does have its own issues, and there really has not been another one in the Masterpiece scale at all, other than the Takara one, and they're stepping it up. People complaining on the chest looking like it's just like a shelf, lower shelf, like it's a top of his belly or something, I don't know. But it really is the animation. It's how it looked in animation, and that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to nail the animation. Now, in the animation, the collarbone area is actually angled a little bit, but then again, it depends on what cell you're looking at, what time frame in the show. I think it looks great, and I don't have any problem with it, and I think it looks really good. I think they've done a fantastic job with it. I really would not want the rest of it shifted up to where it's just flat. I would prefer it to be animation accurate, but is it a detriment? It looks good though. It's got a pretty clean alt mode. It looks really good also, and really not a lot of kibble in it. So both modes looking fantastic is awesome. More than likely, I'll put my Takara one in the alt mode and then have the Star Toys one in the bot mode, which would make a lot more sense to me. And here is a more straight up and down look at the bot mode than it being posed, and it's kind of cool. Very interesting. I think Star Toys did a fantastic job with their Blitzwing, and I still kind of think that they're kind of related to other companies, but we'll get into that when this figure comes in. All right, next up we have the Fans Hobby MB32 First Color Test Shot. And the thing about this one is that imprints and sprays have not been applied yet. There are more paint apps they're going to put on top of all this. But if you're looking at this thinking, well, we've seen this before. Yes, we've seen the grayscale, we've seen the color renders, but this is the color. It's every step of the way. Every step of the way through production, they like to show it, and it generates excitement, but it's also kind of fun to see the development process that they go through when they're working on these figures, especially transforming figures. And yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate every step of the way, and I think it looks pretty good. DX9 is showing their D2 drag strip. They want to say it's a digital XTAL9 toys. If you ever want to know what DX9, it's digital XTAL 9 toys. So this one is a G2 black drag strip, I believe. I believe the black one is G2. I think it does look pretty good overall, and it's one of those things that if you're going to go this route, it's kind of fun. Here is the... Which one is this one? It is Kukinski. Yep. And it's D15B. I think that one looks good also. The thing about this one, it looks a little bit more in the metallic range than the other one that they made, which I really like. I kind of prefer that look. I'm not really interested in collecting another set of these, but these are much taller than what X-Transbots did, and probably, I think, even a little taller than the Fans Toys offering. So if you want these in bot mode, then it would be great to get them, or if you want to get another combined mode of it. But the weird thing is, I still haven't found out anywhere that DX9 has done that reissue. It's like a year and a half now that we've heard about a reissue of their original Minosaur, but maybe since I don't have it pre-ordered, people got it, I just never heard about it. All right, so there's a 3D printed Metroplex that appears to be about on the same scale, similar scale as what Lou and Resources did, but of course way more G1-esque, and it is done by Louis Gallant, or Gallant, and it looks fantastic. This is awesome. I'm curious about a couple of things. First off, if you can just get these and print them however size you want, how do you decide the size? You're like, let me just kind of stick with what Lou and Resources did, or just this is how much space I've got, or why not go as big as your cabinets? There's a bunch of questions. I'm sure the bigger you go, the way more expensive, and can't hold up the weight. But I think it looks fantastic. I think it looks magnificent, and it's really cool that he went through the time to do all of that. And then, of course, added the paint, and whether or not it's paint or decals, but added all that to it, it still looks fantastic. Does it transform? Yes, evidently it does. It looks awesome. This is awesome. And I could say I see a little bit of G1 in it. I see a little bit of the generations in it, but this mode, this is a true and blue base. And even with it being like 3 foot, 4 foot, I don't know how tall it is, it still feels like Legends accommodates it the best. So it's funny that we saw these pictures last week. We've gotten more pictures this week, and information and height. And so it's going to be 9.5 inches for the MPG-17 Optimus Prime style Gen. That's probably a half an inch or so shorter than the rest of the Masterpiece Primes. So he can sort of hold his own, and in fact, might even look a little bit better size-wise scaled next to a Megatron, the MP36, but I like the way it looks, and when people explain it to me, like, from their vantage point that this is what MP10 should have been, like, I would have been ultra ecstatic if this is what we got for MP10 instead of Mr. Old bulky lower legs. And yeah, I would have been way happier on that. But For it to be about 165 to 175, 9.5 inches. I'm still on the fence whether I'd get it because I have so many primes. But it is kind of cool. It's kind of fun. And feels like they have to put another prime out every 5 to 7 years, I guess. Now, I guess they showed this off at the Takara Mall. And I think that was in Japan. So anyway, this is a grayscale prototype that they have going on with it, so it's moving along pretty quick in the process. And so instead of seeing renders or just pictures of whether we know if it's a render or not, this is the real deal, real thing, actual in real world. And yeah, that's how it looks. Not bad. It is a bit on the stylized side. It is from different generations. There is the Matrix Chamber. Speaking of Matrix Chamber, I did get my Matrix. It got it in from ShowZ. It only took like a week. They got it really fast. I thought it was going to be longer. That maybe it was 2 weeks and just time flies because I'm getting old. But I think that that is a nice Matrix. This is a nice Matrix, and nice Matrix Chamber and all that good stuff going on in there. Curious if they chrome anything on this or how much of it gets chromed. All right, speaking of Optimus Prime, we have some odd Aldi. Now, these are not Masterpiece scale, but they're not quite Legend scale, which actually I'm not really sure. Till I get mine in, I'll still be a little mystery how they scale in my collection. But they're Alpha Action Elite S. And there's Optimus Prime, Starscream, and Shattered Glass Soundwave. As you can see, it's a different type of paint app, and I believe a little bit more on the metallic side of things, a little bit shinier side of things. Shattered Glass Soundwave looks pretty cool. He's got a headband. Is that really just a headband on? That's interesting. He's got going on there. And it comes a couple of his cassettes transformed and in cassette mode, and a lot of accessories. Like, why would you expect anything less? And then there's also going to be a Coordination Starscream. So I believe we've gotten all these. This is just all mold reuse to just milk the mold, but give fans a little bit more if they want it. You don't have to get it. Looking at this picture, though, you do kind of see that glistening kind of a metallic look to the red. I don't think any of the other really shows up all that well, but... And I'd be okay. If they were just really shiny, it'd be fine too. Shiny plastic, but the metallic look makes them look a little bit more premium and high-end. Alright, so this really isn't Masterpiece either, but last week, this is the only picture we had of the Big Mac. And so I'm going to show the alt modes. We got 2 more pictures. Now they're all still just kind of shadowed out. I'm sure we could brighten them up and see a little bit more to it. But it really does feel a lot like we're just looking at the vintage that's scaled up. That's just my opinion. It's my feel of this whole thing. But then again, once we see all the details, we see better lit pictures and all that, we'll probably realize the differences between this and the vintage. Then again, I might be right. I might be right. Really, still some mystery to this Big Mac Big O1 battleship, and probably next week we'll see better pictures. I'm guessing. Did I say we had a shortage of Optimus Prime news? That must not have been accurate. Okay, so here we go with MPG-12, which is basically MP44 Shattered Glass, and we knew this was coming, but now it's in hand, and somebody has it to show off and showcase, and there is indeed the packaging to it. Here's this bot mode, and with the usual coloration of it. I am happy with the Magic Square version I got, but it's still very nice looking offering there, and they're going to milk this MP44 mold as much as they can, even though they got another mold coming out, I'm sure. I truly feel like they haven't done as much with the MP44 mold as they did with the MP10 mold. I really feel like there's at least 3, if not 4 times the number of color variations of MP10 as MP44. Am I wrong? Usually not, unless you ask my wife. This is the alt mode and what it comes with, so you can see it. So it doesn't come with a lot. Definitely doesn't come with a trailer. So a lot of people would probably like a clear trailer. I don't even know what a Shattered Glass trailer would look like, but there you go. And these are some really nice looking pictures. Now, this is the Transformers 1 Blockies, and I think they look cool. These figures look cool. The one thing that kind of bothers me is that the legs are so long. And I didn't realize that until I went ahead and put a model kit together. And as I put the model kit together, I realized, why are these legs so long? Am I doing something wrong? No, that's just the design. So this one is the Soundwave, and these Blockies look more like the source, I believe, more like the source material than what they were doing before. So I kind of like that direction. Here is Ironhide, and yeah, he looks pretty good. I believe that's Ironhide, right? I would hate to say, oh no, that's our new take on Sideswipe. No, that'd be crazy. Ironhide. And then here is a Shockwave, and shocking, there he is. But all these pictures look really good. It's very interesting, and I know Blockies have a pretty huge following. So we have a Alpha Toyland exclusive New Age S01A Remus, the Alpha exclusive version. $115. You can do $10 down. It's not going to ship till June. And the thing about this is that TM Reviews over on his channel did a review of this, and they kind of corresponded his review going up the same time that this is up for pre-order, and I don't think anyone else is going to get it. I think, seriously, it's one of those exclusives. This is the only place to get it. I'm sort of interested in it, but I'm kind of like the other ones too. But if you want to, you can go over and check this out. The PayPal, it takes PayPal, so that's really good. And if you're interested, it is not Legend scale, it's New Age, but it is the one that is actually sort of Studio Series scale. A little bit, like a hair smaller than Studio Series. But I think it does look pretty cool. I couldn't have said that better myself. Louie, Luau. This is New Age, and all of their Legends versions of Louie, they're kind of showcasing this. And I think that I will continue to give New Age props for not only making a lot of different variations and versions and G2s and shattered glasses and stuff, when really we don't see much of that from Magic Square. I sing a lot of Magic Square praises, but they don't do this to this level. And when they do put out another one, it's just like a surprise. Surprise, here it is. And New Age lets you plan your collecting, decide the one you want. They usually show 3, 4, or 6 right up front. So I really think that that's pretty awesome. But this is a pretty good picture from June King showcasing all this. And why not show the alt modes too? Because I think that's every bit as important when you're looking at the Transformers. The alt modes look pretty good. I do still feel like this is probably too big to be an accessory for your Masterpiece shelf, which I always kind of like to look at that, if that's a possibility. I think the Dr. Wu ones are the right size for accessories for your Masterpiece shelf. Are we ready for some Masterpiece news? I'm going to show this picture to start out. Wait, this is Hasbro. Mainline. Regular, not Masterpiece. Takara Tomy Dramatic Capture Series Triple Takeover 3-pack, and I'm really just showing this because it's got that Astro Train in it, and it's a reissue. This is all reissue, but of course it's Takara Tomy's reissue in this set, Dramatic Capture Series. They also did this with Shockwave, Megatron, and was it also Starscream? Now I'm going to run through this list real quick, like really fast, but if you want a more in-depth look at the list of the leak list, Studio Series, and other stuff, then go to the Friday video because I went through it a little bit deeper. But there's going to be Deluxe Level Bumblebee, the TF1 Orion Packs, a Transformers 5 Barricade. People are saying will be a new mold, which I did not think it would be, but people are saying it's going to be. We've got a Deluxe 86 Windcharger, which will be a new mold. The 86 Sunstreaker, which probably just a reissue. 86 Kranix would be an all-new transforming Kranix, unlike what we've seen in the past. The 86 Cliffjumper, probably a reissue. Transformers 1 Thundercracker, Transformers 1 Arachnid, Voyager Scale, Skywarp and Thundercrack reissues, and for 86, and then a Shockwave, which is Voyager Scale, which is probably just going to be the Leaders Class 1 without all the junk with it. The TF1 Alpha Trion, Leader Class Soundwave, which Still up in the air. Is it a new mold? Is it just going to be a reuse of what they've done in the past? Astro Train again. Snarl again. Well, that's actually already up at BBTS. Nemesis Prime from Transformers 5. And then something called 30th Anniversary Capsule, which appears like it could be a set of figures, but it probably is all separate figures with Deluxe Hound, Voyager Scourge, Voyager Hot Rod, which is kind of hot on the secondary market right now, and Leader Optimus Prime that some say is Commander Class without the trailer. And the next list here, Deluxe Quintus Prime, Deluxe Sure Shot, Blast Off, which part of a G1 Bruticus, Quick Strike for the Beast Wars figures, Deluxe Smoke Screen for Dadson Brother, Power Glide Deluxe, first time they're making one that big for Hasbro. They actually made a Power Glide that was in a much larger scale in the past. The Deluxe Swerve, which makes a lot of sense. Animated Ratchet, Transformers Prime Cliff Jumper. Getting into the Voyager scale, there's a Amalgamus Prime, Voyager Brawl again for that Bruticus, Animated Wreck-Gar, Animated Sideways, which I hear has not been done yet. I wouldn't know though. Armada Sideways, sorry. Nexus Prime Voyager scale. Then we get into Big Convoy Leader, which got a picture kind of showing that, and then Razor Claw, Leader Razor Claw, Onslaught in Commander Class, which makes sense for Bruticus, and then G2 Swoop and Sludge. Again, Friday video, check it out for more in-depth information. This is what people are saying the Big Convoy is going to look like. I don't think we've gotten that in a more modern iteration yet, but we might have, and I just missed it. So this is not something I'd be interested in picking up, but if it's something that's getting made and people really want it, then it's good to get the news out. Takara is releasing their takes on the Hasbro figures that Takara actually made the molds to. So, okay, this one here is Alchemist Prime, and it looks pretty good. So if you want to get their recolored take on it, that's going to be available soon. Here is, which one is this? Rescue Bots Heat Wave. That's a thing, and if you know, then you know. And then the one that I think is, of all the reissues, I like the look of this the most, but I just can't bring myself to dropping $200 on this when I got mine at Burlington Coat Factory for $56. So I'll just live with the light gray instead of the dark gray. But I think this is a really nice looking recolor. So they've done a pretty good job with it, and what they've done here, maybe there's a chance they'll be $50 again at Ross or Ollie's, but I highly doubt it. And these are going to be made in much smaller quantities than they were doing back then. Looks really good. And yes, this coloration is going to be made by Hasbro and by Takara. I don't know what the difference for the Takara one would be. This is something I've been hearing people talk about, so they're kind of excited about it. And this is a compendium set for Kickstarter, and it's lovingly bound in gorgeous faux leather. Each of the Transformers compendiums between 950 and 1200 pages. Longtime and new fans alike can expect to relive classic stories that started it all for the Robots in Disguise in editions that will not be available anywhere else. If you want this, then you might want to get in on this. I'm guessing compendium, is it all the comics put together? Till All Are One Definitive Edition box set, which cuts the US and UK, runs into most seamless and comprehensive reading experience yet. This edition houses the complete run of hardcover in a deluxe collector's box with new art from current Transformers series cover artist and comic megastar Daniel Warren Johnson. So, there you go. All right, let me try to keep all of this stuff straight. Starting with Masters of the Universe, this stuff is what's mostly up for pre-order. But I was looking at it, I was going, well, where is Blade? 87, I haven't seen that yet. And so I think it might be an exclusive. But with that, most of the stuff's up for pre-order. And run through it, there's on the left there, we've got the Cartoon Collection, Grizzlor, Fangman, and Orko. And then we've got Bo, Whiplash, and Shadow Weaver, which all look great. All excellent offerings. Then in the middle, we've got the Masterverse stuff, which is Terror Claws, Skeletor, Ninjor. I did pre-order a Ninjor. She-Ra, Teela, Hordak coming soon. Cobra Khan, and then on the bottom there, Faker Stratos and 87 Blade, which I think they all look great. I mean, the Stratos looks good too. The Thundercats stuff, now this is what got me. I was on BBTS. They're now $25. This is a $15 toy line, Origins. And it went to 17, then to 20, now 25. And so I've decided not to get into this unless I find them at a store cheaper or on sale or whatever. But Lion-O Chitara, Battle Cat Man, Tigra, Panthro, He-Man, and then the deluxe Shellra, which you can make Skeletor or Mumra. But pretty cool stuff overall. Here's a better look at some of the stuff that's coming, just a little bit better pictures. All in one shot, if you're interested in looking at the stuff. The Orko, people are saying, can turn into, get a beard and turn a Orko into, like, Uncle Orky or something. I don't even know the character's name, but that was something I heard this past week. Thought it would be kind of cool. Here's another picture of the Thundercats that came out this week, which this picture actually looks kind of weird. But it gets the job done. I guess see all the figures in action. That's a lot of good guys on one bad guy. And then here's packaging, mock-up of what it's going to look like. And I really feel at this point they should just make it all collector-friendly packaging. But that's just my belief. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Shouldn't we make it to where they can slide it out and slide it back in? I mean, I know people in the store would be trying to slide them out and slide it back in. But how often are you going to see this stuff in the store? And then here is the packaging for the deluxe Shellra. Looks good. Well, it's basically what they've been doing all along. Alright, so I guess it was this past week, or maybe it was last week. It's all starting to run together for me, but this is the second, so it's this past week. These 3 figures went up for pre-order and are all sold out. I just wanted the Dr. Fate, and it was sold. That one sold out first, and then I was like, well, I don't need the rest. I don't need anything if I can't get that one. I have 2 other versions that just don't look cartoony enough. This one looks pretty cartoony, so I'd want it, but I can't have it, so I'll just wait. The next 5 years, I think Mattel will make one. So I missed the boat on that. I was an hour late trying to pre-order it. So this is the Robocop Villains of Old Detroit, and this is made by JFS Toys. I don't know anything about them, but these are 7-inch tall, 1/10 scale, meaning they will work with your NECA. They'll work with your Super 7 Ultimate stuff. They're going to work with probably going to work with Hiya, but I don't know if Hiya Toys is going to be smaller. It's going to be more expensive, but we'll look at that in a second. Clarence Bodiger, Emil Antonowski, Leon Nash, Joe Cox, and Steve Mean. So the reason that these are so, I'd say, important is because no one makes the bad guys. Whenever we get a Robocop, you just get a Robocop and almost nothing else. Almost nothing else. You look at all of it, NECA fleshed out. They haven't done any of these guys. So that, and to have Red Foreman to call everybody a Doma, that'd be nice too. These are going to be 60 each, or with a discounted price of $275 for the entire set. So 60 each would be $300, but you only have to pay $275 to get the whole set. And I don't think the pre-orders are available yet. And when they come up, I'll tell people about it. Oh, I'm going to talk about this when I was talking about the other DC stuff. So this is the DC Super Friends 6-inch, which replaced the Batman 66. So I guess Batman 66 has come to an end. I'm guessing, I believe. And then now it's replaced with the Super Friends, or they're adjacent side by side, but I haven't seen anything else about Batman 66 in a while. These all look fantastic. And I think BBTS is completely sold out on these. You can still get some of them, a few of them, available at Entertainment Earth, but Entertainment Earth was selling the case, and if you got the case, you'd also get a Riddler Chase figure that I guess there's no chance of me getting, but these look awesome. If I see them in the wild, I'll pick them up. Well, I've got all this stuff out of order today. Sorry about that, but I want to go down what I've got going on here so I don't miss anything. This is the Master of the Universe Origins Retro Punching He-Man and Skeletor 80th. That's not what this is. That's what it says in the title at Target, but this is actually the sketchbook version of the Cyclone. So that's interesting. So it's got the wrong title at Target when I click the link. Anyway, this is an interesting take on the character. It's a pretty cool figure overall. and I'm not sure if I'm getting it or not, but it looks like it'd be worthwhile to grab. It is $20, and if you have the red card, you get free shipping with the red card. All right, so this is the Hiya Toys 6.5-inch 1/12 scale Robocop that we've talked about in the past, but it's up for pre-order right now at Entertainment Earth. Gundam, it's sold out. That's where I'm getting mine from, which is ShowZ Gundam It, but it's $113, which I think is about the same price. But I'm looking to see if it's any better, what it does different than the $35 NECA one, and is it going to be how much shorter than $35 NECA one? So I'm curious about a lot of these things, but it's probably the only thing that they're making from Hiya for Robocop that I'm interested in. And will it scale with these other new ones? Not sure yet. You know, how it scales with the bad guys. Friday the 13th, Ultimate Pamela Voorhees figure from NECA. So quite interesting. This is shown via Walmart. I don't think it's going to be a Walmart exclusive though. And it comes with all this stuff. So if you're familiar with the Friday the 13th stuff, this is... Isn't this... this is the Pamela. Yeah, the Pamela Voorhees. Anyhow, if you want this figure, it's crazy. The horror stuff NECA's doing is insane, to say the least. That sweater looks awfully familiar. Right, Hiya Toys Exquisite Mini-Series G.I. Joe Shipwreck, and it is around the 4-inch scale. And this one, they're saying it's going to be $25, but the thing is, that doesn't count shipping, so anybody that you have to get it from has to import it. And again, with these, they're not allowed to sell it in the US, so anyone that brings it in would have to import it as an import item and pay extra on all that. So anyhow, I think these usually sell for around 30 something at Gundam It when it shows up, and I'll talk about the pre-order when it pops up. What I want to say about this is that it looks very classic. Looks like a very classic, yet a bit on the real world side of Shipwreck, and with that, I think they did a great job. All right, for G.I. Joe Classified, we actually have some new stuff for G.I. Joe Classified for renders. Now, we've heard about all this stuff. It's been rumored. It's been leaked. But now we've got official pictures that we can look at. Here's the Cobra Commander, and it does look really good. One of the things I want to say about this Cobra Commander render is that it looks real shiny, and that's one of the things I want about this. And the blue seems to match. Very retro also, so don't expect a retro version of this down the road. There's absolutely no need for a retro version. They've done a fantastic job. Then you got like snake eyes in the second head, so they've done a fantastic job with this figure. I personally did not like this figure when I was a kid because I wanted to find the original Cobra Commander, because it was years after that thing was out that I was collecting, and this thing was on the pegs, and the only Cobra Commander I could find. But as an adult, I appreciate it a lot more. This is probably going to be an exclusive to Pulse, so either you get your premium or you pay shipping on it. And it is the Claw. Looks really good, and I think they've done a fantastic job with it. Still feels very much like the original one, but some upgrades, some realistic upgrades to it, and you get the pilot there too. Then we've got basically Cobra Island version of Major Blood, and he's got more paint apps. There's a few new parts too, like I think the arm is different. There's a few different things, but overall, for the most part, I mean, I still believe those missiles will fall out of the backpack if there's a breeze. If you got a fan on, the missiles are going to fall out of his backpack. That's my belief. Am I wrong? Prove me wrong. You can't prove me wrong, because I'm right. And then here's Monkey Wrench, which another phenomenal job. And for my story on Monkey Wrench is because he was my first one to get of the Dreadnoks, even before Zartan, and it took me a while to chase down the rest of them because he was on shelves when I was collecting, and I had to retroactively collect backwards and get them at garage sales and stuff. So still, to me, very, very important Dreadnought. A lot of people that had all of them in chronological order feel like he's probably not as important, but I think he's very important. First one I had. and Snake Eyes, I believe, version 4. And yeah, it's all right. I'm not the most excited for this, but I guess just the name Snake Eyes will sell it. They believe. I would much rather have a version 4 Snake Eyes than an 8th version that's very similar to the other 7 they put out. So yeah, I think it's a good idea if you still want to keep a Snake Eyes at retail-ish. All right, I guess time for the Star Wars. There's not a lot of Star Wars news. Don't get your hopes up. Don't get really too excited. I actually was watching Star Wars Sales Daddy, and his news is funny. He finds a lot of stuff going on in Star Wars because there's not much, and basically makes it up. It's not really making it up, but it's just not exactly stuff coming out. It's interesting. Star Wars Tales of the Underworld. This is the trailer arriving with 6 all-new Star Wars original shorts only on Disney Plus, premiering May 4th. May the 4th be with you. And if you're into Star Wars, you might be into this. This is kind of feels like something that might be fun, might not be fun. Now, if you were one of the unlucky few that missed out on this set with a yak face, and you want a yak face, and you want them in the package or loose, and you want the Hasbro one, not the Stan Solo one, this is getting reissued, but I only see it at Entertainment Earth. It's an Entertainment Earth exclusive, which means there's probably a 30% chance that they don't ship your pre-order, because I have a lot of pre-orders that haven't shipped from them. It's so crazy. But I'm pretty sure if it's their exclusive, they'll make sure that they put it out of stock when they've sold all they're going to get. But $60, $70, $72. And I pre-ordered mine, and I'll let my buddy know if he wanted another set. But I never got a second set to open, and I was holding my breath till I turned blue for them to go on clearance. And actually, they sold out lightning fast because of the yak face of the Mon Mothma. And with that, yeah, it's a good set if you're in on this. Now, that makes me start thinking that nothing's ever really sold out. And how do all those people feel that paid $220, $250 for the box set on eBay? I mean, are they going to feel like chumps because they spent that much? I mean, it's one of those things that the other set that's the newest one that's out that has like Han Carbonite pre-order through Target only. If it comes back up through Target, somewhere, some timeline, it'll be available. All right, so let me know what you think about this week's weekly news in review. And did Brian Volkwise at Nacelle make Captain Kirk the way he wanted to remember him? A lot thinner? Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Have you ever hang around?